What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/EntitledPeople. This story's called Entitled Mother Puts Me on Fire with a Flare Gun, then Tries to Kill a Police Dog. Whoa! So, this story happened on July 8th, 2020. Me and my dad have decided that we will go shooting to a nearby range, or at a nearby range. We have a gas pistol, which in our country you don't need a license to have at home. A gas pistol? What's that? Is it one of those like air-powered guns? Those are pretty badass. Now, this pistol can only shoot blank or gas cartridges, but we also have a special attachment to the barrel that allows us to shoot a flare, pyro, etc. So we went there, shot a few pyros and flares, and then when I just loaded a new flare about 20 feet away from us, appears Entitled's mother with humble kid. The kid looked like 11 and the Karen was about 40. So they approach us from the back and I hear the typical, "Excuse me?" And I just tell myself in the head, oh god, it's happening. The conversation follows. Yes? "Could you please let my kid shoot?" Now, we have some restrictions about the guns. 1, you must be at least 15 to shoot the gun. 2, for you to be able to shoot the explosives from the gun, you must have paperwork, which my dad has. I'm sorry, but I can't let him shoot. He's too young for that. "No, he's not. He's 17. Mom, let them go. We'll write one right there." "And do you even have the paperwork to shoot explosives from it?" "No, but you do, right?" "Just give me the gun." "No, and you don't even have the paperwork." "Fine, I'll take it myself." And she grabs the gun from my hand and pulls the trigger. The flare went off right on my shirt. I put the fire out and shouted for security. When the entitled mother realizes what she did, she grabs the flare box and Usain bolts from the range going to the forest. The humble kid just stands there, frozen. Here comes the security guard. "Are you okay?" "Yeah, just the shirt is a bit ashed." "Where does she go?" "Into the forest." Well, this range has, to our pleasure, a kennel. There are 2 dogs which are trained to find guns and people. This is because the people have been trying to sneak out with guns or ammo. My dad is an off-duty police officer, so he gets the dog and the security guard and they go to find her. Me and humble kid behind him. After about 15 minutes of searching, the security guard spots the entitled mom hiding in a bush. "Look, she's right there!" And the security guard unleashes the dog. It runs to the bush where Karen is, and just before the bush, the Karen raises and shouts, "Stay away, you little..." And she shoots the dog. The dog howls in pain as the explosive pyro exploded in its face, and as we later found out, it destroyed one of its eyes. "Hands up!" The entitled mother is right then tackled to the ground, apprehended, and later charged for assault, stealing, and injuring a police dog. At the court, entitled mother gets a total of 15 years in prison. Me and my dad then returned home, grabbed the air gun, and we went shooting tin cans until it was evening. And that's the end. Thanks for reading. That poor freaking dog. And I'm pretty sure, at least in the United States, or it might be different from state to state, or even county to county, I don't know. But, like, assaulting a police dog is the equivalent of assaulting an officer, because they are officers of the law, which is really, really cute. I just love dogs with responsibility. I love it so much. I love it! Alright, this story's called Lady Expects Us All to Like Her Facebook Posts. There's a lady in my church who spams our Facebook feeds with anti-vax, pro-Trump, we're not American, anti-mask, anti-medicine posts. Stuff like vaccines contain get-out-of-babied babies, etc. Apparently, people have been using some of the negative react options to her posts. Today, she posted a rant about how mean people are for publicly not agreeing with her, and we should just keep our thoughts to ourselves. She has never done this. She also continued on to say that we were not as informed as she was. She was a retired art teacher. The people who disagree with her have doctorates or are medical doctors, and she appreciated her privilege of being able to be so well informed, and she does sometimes look at articles from the other side of things to fact check. However, we should all remain quiet and appreciate her superior knowledge. She then spent most of the comments saying she was the smartest person but also humble. I angry reacted, so I'm now blocked. Whoops. Other things she's done and said: 1. Charged family to go to her daughter's wedding. Not the culture here. 2. Asked me to look after the 45-year-old 30-year-old blind man who goes to our church, and when I explained I couldn't, she badmouthed me and said I'm selfish. I can't because I'm supervising the teens in another room at the time she wants me to keep him company. 3. Threw a fit because the church was going to get a spray thing to clean the church due to COVID. Claimed the spray would leave too many chemicals in the air. Guys, literally everything is made up of chemicals. Like, the air is chemicals. So now we have to wipe down the entire church after every meeting. She does not help. 4. Kept her grandkids out of school for a month so they wouldn't catch the flu vaccine. Okay, 5. When asking me about my friend who moved to another country, she heavily implied that I had no other friends and lacked the social ability to make friends. I have friends, I swear. Update 1. Thanks for sharing in my misery. Good luck to my American commenters. I pray that the odds are in your favor and the election is peaceful. I'll post updates of her pro-Trump rants after the election. I know elections are closed, but I can want to take this moment to remind Americans of the role you have in international politics. Okay, that's actually a really cool take. Let's read. The Northern Ireland peace process would not have happened without Clinton, and would not have been as well maintained without Bush. I'm not a fan of Bush, but he still intercedes for my country even now. Obama showed the peace process the utmost respect and educated others about it. Books about Northern Irish politics are often on his reading lists. Trump is willfully ignorant. The US has the role as a guarantor for the peace process and Good Friday Agreement. And when things like Brexit come along and shake things up, the US's job is to protect it. Ayo! See it as a divorce court. The mom's the UK, the dad's Ireland and the European Union, and the child is Northern Ireland. The US is the social worker who is meant to be looking after the best interests of the child. 4 years ago, you hired Donald Trump as our social worker. He told the British Prime Minister that he didn't understand why we were so hateful. He told the Irish president that he thought a wall on the border was a great idea. Please fire him. My mom grew up with bullets through her window and bodies in her garden. She grew up in a war zone, and the only thing that saved me from the same situation was Clinton phoning all the leaders and asking them to sign the documents. I know you guys have a lot of crap going on and your own crap to deal with, but if the Good Friday Agreement falls apart, war will start in my country. Please, please, please stop voting for idiotic politicians. I need your politicians to save me from my politicians. Oh, that gave me freaking chills. I mean, obviously I have I have absolutely no role in protecting. I mean, I guess as a citizen I do have the role of voting, but as much as people say it is important, which it is important, but like when it comes to like, I'm not gonna say small because obviously that's not a small issue, but more or less present issues within our own sort of political atmosphere. This story's called, You Want Me to Do All the Work But You Don't Want to Pay Me? Okay, a little backstory. It happened about a year ago, so some details might have been forgotten. I was beginning an internship at a small IT company as a back-end developer, but soon into the internship, the CTO acknowledged my potential, and because of that, I was put into all internal projects and some external projects. One of the biggest internal projects we had was our data collection project. The project was collecting text from a lot of independent websites and after sort all the text and only keeping the text we want. To accomplish that, I used artificial intelligence and specialized algorithms. That project was only one of many. I also created an administration system so our non-programming workers could sort the massive amount of data we already collected, and made an improvement to our profile picture template and banner picture background color, so it took the end of the picture's most dominant color and made a gradient as that color as base color. Also to accomplish that, I used artificial intelligence and image recognition algorithms only using scripts and used as an extended plugin. Just to clarify something, the whole internship was meant for the business to not lose out on money under the training since I never had a job beforehand. So as a compromise, I worked for free for the first 3 months, and afterwards still slightly underpaid, but just enough so I could live. But after the first 3 months, the CTO said I was not pulling my weight, so he couldn't approve my salary. So instead of that, we continued the internship and made a new promise after the next 3 months I would get a good salary. And guess what? After 3 months, still nothing at all. But I was young, and I thought, oh okay, he's right. I am not doing enough. I gave it 3 more months, and still nothing, so I left. And even after all that time, I tried to get back to him after a year because I was in dire need for a recommendation. So, for making it rather long, thanks for reading, and sorry if it is not making any sense. Please inform me if anything does not make sense. Hope you all have a great day and stay safe. Update 1. I'm currently looking into any legal action I might have left out or overseen. Update 2. I forgot to mention that there was a mouth-to-mouth agreement about the salary. It was around $2,816.95 monthly, converted from my local valuta. What? Currency, I'm assuming. Although the average amount monthly is $7,042.36, again converted from my local currency. Yo, what? Dog, you got scammed. You got used, dog. Oh my god, man. You need to I don't know what you need to do. I'm not any sort of legal expert, but I'm sure someone is, and they got dude. Holy cow. This story's called, My Grandmother Decided to Ruin My Childhood Dream Just Because Hers Was Ruined Many Years Ago. So 2 things to note at the beginning. I'm Polish, so writing in English is sometimes a bit difficult to me, but I'm doing my best. Second, I'm on mobile, so that happened when I was about 15. My cousin was supposed to take me to the anime manga convention in the bigger town. I was living in the countryside. I was really excited to go since I just adored watching anime and reading manga. I was doing some cosplaying, so I was really hoping to bring one of my costumes to the party. The only problem was money, but not really a problem since it wasn't a super big convention in not the super big town. It was quite expensive to get the tickets, food, and have some fun in there. Fortunately, I had a bunch of school books from the past few years of learning and knew just the place where you could sell these during the summer in order for somebody to buy it cheaper than in the shop. So I couldn't get a whole cashback for selling these, but it was for sure enough for convention and even more. Books were expensive deals after all. I really had a lot of these hiding in my room. I stacked all the books, and when my granny asked me what I was doing, she was living right next to me, I explained where I'm going, what is the convention, and how selling these books will help me gain the money on the tickets and other things. I was really happy to tell her all about the fun things I'll be able to do for 3 days there. Then she told me a little story about herself. When she was 10, she really wanted to have a goat because her friend had a little one and she thought it was really cute. So she asked her rich aunt to give her money. Aunt agreed without even asking questions and told her exactly where she can buy a small goat. But when she came home to tell her mom about that idea, she snatched the money from her hand and told her that it's not gonna happen because they need to buy food, clothes, etc. Goats are not for fun. I thought she was trying to tell me that she's sad that she couldn't have such fun as a kid. I told her that I feel really sorry for her and didn't think much about it later. I had no idea what was coming. The next day, when I was supposed to go sell my books, there were none. They all just disappeared. I immediately got scared that now I won't go anywhere, but decided not to panic and to just ask everyone in the house what happened to my things. My dad had no idea, neither my brother. I finally confronted my grandmother and asked what happened to my books. She obviously told me that she had no idea. Someone else had to pick them up and hide them somewhere. I answered that I asked literally everyone and no one knew what happened. Besides, I already could see on her face that she's just trying to get rid of my questions.
Why do you need these old books?
What do you mean? I told you yesterday exactly why I needed them.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
She was acting like our talk never happened and my books didn't exist either. I told my dad about that. He told me to forgive her because she's old and may really not remember that. But I know her personality really well, and I knew that she was just lying to me, and to not worry because he will give me some money. That cheered me up a bit, but I was still upset that the books I was about to sell just went missing. We weren't really rich, so my dad could give me money for tickets and some food, but there was no way of paying for actual fun from buying things or using I'm assuming a raffle, etc. I was really hoping for that since I was supposed to use only my own money. After some time, I completely forgot about that incident until I went to my granny's backyard while helping with something in the spring. I looked in the old doghouse because I spotted something weird inside with the corner of my eye. Yup, all my books. All destroyed by the rain and winter, etc. Useless. I love my grandmother, but I still can't forgive her for stealing my stuff, hoping that I'll never get to go to the dreamed convention just because she couldn't fulfill her own dream when she was small. I still went there. I still had fun with my cousin, but I was still lied to. That's incredibly messed up. Why would anyone want that for their grandchildren? Like, the point of having kids is so that they could have it better than you. And then if you can't do that, then you could at least do that for your grandkids because, you could be the fun grandparents that don't have to be jerks to the kids like the parents have to sometimes. That pisses me off. This story's called Entitled Store Managers Yell at a Woman for Buying Subway. Okay, so I don't know if it belongs here, but it's my best bet. So I live in Canada, important later, and was fat biking with a friend before I had to join a Zoom call. I'm a teenager and just needed to join for school. What's fat biking? Since I've been doing this weekly, my mom picks up lunch for me so I can eat on the drive home. But this time was weird. I wasn't present for this. Here's the cast.
Mom?
Manager. So mom walks into a small mall and goes into Subway across from manager's store. Mom then orders my wrap and leaves. Hey, do you want takeout pizza?
No thanks. I just got lunch for my son.
Oh, great. Instead of supporting local businesses, you just fuel an American chain.
Yeah, I do, because my son likes it and can't eat your pizza because he can't have dairy. And instead of buying plant-based products, you just use the, "Oh, you don't want to have nuts in this establishment" claim, despite there being multiple dairy-free cheeses that don't use nuts.
Apparently, manager said that to two other people who also got Subway and came out while mom left. Edit. Turns out they recently got a nut and dairy-free cheese at the location. Gonna try to see if it's worth supporting. Ayo! No grudges held here because we recognize change and growth, right? Right. Good job, OP. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.